You may turn around and be seated. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to kick off this afternoon's graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. I would like to take this time to welcome parents, grandparents, relatives, family, friends, staff members, as well as those no longer with us, to keep in our thoughts. To the class of 2021, many of you know today where you're going to be next year. Some of you may not. Others are still making plans. But guess what? That's okay. If you're like me, and you go to Fenton Road on Wednesday, you haven't quite grown up yet, so that's okay too. The most important thing for each one of you today is to learn one thing. And you've already done that. You've learned how to learn this year. So congratulations on that. While this day is in honor of our class of 2021, it is also a day to recognize those adults in our community that support our district each and every year. So at this time, it's now my honor to recognize our elementary teacher of the year. This person is honored as the Leslie and Lewis Growald Award for the Elementary Teacher of the Year. As I call your name, please come forward. This year's Elementary Teacher Award goes to Christina Johnson. For you that don't know her, many call her Tina. She is an elementary music teacher here at West Line. Lots of people that nominated her said this: she's an amazing teacher. Many of you sitting in front of me right now had her in class. Some of you did not. She teaches our TK through 6th graders about music education. Her students all get excited for her class. They love the excitement, the engagement of her class, but they also can't wait for our elementary music concerts. Not only does Tina teach the importance of music education, but she also teaches about the importance of making that connection to music in our lives. She creates a love of music in her students that forms the foundation for music education in their lives, and that goes well beyond high school. It is now my honor again to recognize this year's Elementary Teacher of the Year, Christina Johnson.
And thank you for the award. When I first told my husband Travis that I was receiving this award, he was really excited, and then chuckled, realizing I'm going to have to give some sort of speech. When I told my daughter Evelyn I received it, she was also really excited. And then I told her again I'd have to give some sort of speech. She looked at me and said, "Do you want me to give this speech? You always sound silly." I'm lucky to have so much support in my life. First off, I'd like to thank my coworkers for helping me grow and develop my curriculum the 10 years I've been at West Line. I work with some wonderful people who are always willing to lend a helping hand for a variety of reasons in my classroom. I've also been lucky to work next to some amazing educators, and even though some of the time spent may have been short, their passion and drive always kept me ready to do more. Teaching all the students in transitional kindergarten through 6th grade is no easy task, and with the support of the administration, I have been able to develop a curriculum that helps students see the music in their lives. Thank you, graduating class of 2021. You guys had to put up with my silly jokes and stories for sadly only 5 years. I'm in a lucky spot. I got to see you grow and change for 5, but usually 7 years. I get to listen to your stories of the tooth fairy, to sport practices, to how your first instrument is going, to what your pet just did, and then suddenly you were all taller than me. It's truly all wonderful to see all the growth you have achieved in those elementary years. Once you left 6th grade, my mind keeps you frozen as 7th graders. So really tall 7th graders and some with facial hair. But I usually try to catch somebody in the hallway or check a sports program just to see how off I am in my guess of how old you actually are. It's usually a couple years. I still awkwardly smile and wave sometimes at you in the hallway. Sometimes I get a, "Hey, Mrs. Johnson," back. Otherwise, you just look at me like the weird elementary teacher, and that's okay. Thank you to my family for being themselves. I know the success and joy I have in my job is all due to them. My dad is always willing to lend a helpful hand whenever needed. I asked him to make a step for me a while ago for the kindergartners to help reach the smart board better. He came back with a step that could hold a 250-pound person. He tested it out, so if I ever have a 250-pound kindergartner, I'm set. I will also argue that my mother has been to more elementary programs than anyone else. Not only did she make it through all of my 6 siblings' elementary programs, but once I started teaching here, she just kept coming back. There's always a smile on her face, no matter how cheesy the program may be. I'm also very lucky to get to work with one of my sisters. I wouldn't consider us twins, but students sure do confuse us up. I always make sure I tell them that she is the older sister, even though she's 8 years younger than me. She's always there to lend a helping hand and silly dance move whenever I need it. Evelyn and Dirks have done a great job of testing out lessons and ideas that I bring and come up with. They always especially love it when I ask for their help when it comes to instruments. Agnes so far is just along for the ride, loving every day. And finally, Travis. My husband will admit he's not the most musical person, but he's always willing to step in and help in whatever way he can. He's typically singing the elementary program music just as long as the students are, and sometimes longer. He has listened and learned many a folk song, and can still perform Pizza Pizza Daddy-O pretty well. He gives me song ideas for our guitar unit, and even lets me play on his nice guitars every once in a while. He's there to help clean and tune, and help with whatever needs fixing. He got to try to come up with an idea on how to store 200 ice cream buckets this year, so that the students in TK through 3rd grade could have their own instrument sets. He's always there to listen to my crazy lesson plans and keep me grounded when I start flying a little too wildly. And finally, graduating class. Please don't let yourself become just a music teacher, just a nurse, just an electrician, just a farmer. Be proud of the accomplishments you make. Don't let anyone tell you that the goals you have accomplished are just worthy. If you find joy in what you are doing, do it. I hope that you never stop growing and learning in whatever path you choose. There will always be people who try and tell you that you're not good enough or that you are just. But know that what makes you happy is always good enough. Thank you.
It is now my honor to present this year's secondary teacher award. Ms. Courtney Boone. Ms. Boone is a K-12 English learner teacher here at West Lyon. Although Courtney did not intend to become an EL teacher, her background in history has served her well. As Courtney works with many students at West Lyon from many different countries, with many different diverse backgrounds in culture and language. She continually advocates for her students and her families at West Lyon, and for that we thank her. It is with her help that we send students out of high school here at West Lyon for the better. She also has helped us in the past few years send out notices in other languages other than English, and I think that, again, has been well achieved and well received. She's a very busy person, often overseeing many students in her room with a wide variety of needs. Courtney is not just a teacher of English learners, but she has to master content in all subject areas and often needs to take time to reteach many of the assignments. She is also willing to expose her students to a variety of events and activities here at West Lyon, again, going above and beyond. She helped to create the Seal by Literacy here at West Lyon, which recognizes those students that have successfully completed an understanding in both English and Spanish languages. It is now my honor to recognize Ms. Courtney Boone as this year's Leslie and Louise Grobel Secondary Teacher of the Year.
well as to the committee who selected me for this honor. Being considered Teacher of the Year is a recognition of all of the early mornings, late nights, and countless other hours that are put into this profession in order to ensure that each child has exactly what they need to learn. Secondly, I would like to thank my amazing coworkers. The saying, "It takes a village to raise a child," applies to the education system as well. Having students that range from kindergarten through 12th grade allows me the opportunity to collaborate with numerous hard-working teachers. It takes every one of us working in a concerted effort to see that the students succeed. In addition, I wanted to say a special thank you to Kathleen Bergman. Thank you for helping me manage the chaos of the ELL room and working tirelessly to help our students be successful. Lastly, I would like to express gratitude to my friends and family who have sat patiently through endless conversations about my school day, who have given me sound advice, whether it was solicited or unsolicited, and who have always supported me in every way. I wouldn't be accepting this award today if it wasn't for your constant love and support. So thank you, and I appreciate everything that you have done for me. In closing, I want to say congratulations to the class of 2021, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Last but not least, it's now my honor to present this year's Silent Server of the Year to Mr. Doug Wilchin. Doug told me before the ceremony today that his speech is probably going to be about 20 to 30 minutes long, so be prepared. I'm just kidding. Besides being a dedicated father and husband, when he's not at work or at home with his family, Doug has committed more than 10 years of service to our programs here at West Lyon. He is willing to record, respond, tape, film, or whatever you want to call it these days for our programs at West Lyon. And he does it at home and away contests. Also, did we mention he did the same thing at away games? It takes a volunteer to do that. Many times traveling several hours away to help out our programs. Doug works behind the scenes to help many of our programs in preparation, postseason events, as well as regular season contests. It is now my honor to present Doug Wilchin with the Dwayne Dwight and Roger Grobald Silent Server of the Year.
I see Jeremy's got my job right now. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone involved with this award. It is truly humbling experience to stand up here and be recognized for something that I enjoy 100%. It started a few years ago with Coach Aaron Johnson asking my wife to text me to see if I could take one of his games. 15 years later, I'm still doing it. I enjoy it, I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. I help him out in the sports and vocal and band whenever needed. Highlights of this was the state championship in basketball in 2014. I'd like to thank the coach and Jeremy Childers for helping. West Lyon students are surrounded by dedicated teachers, coaches, directors, administrators, bus drivers, aides, custodians, and families who would give anything for them to be successful. If I can play a small part in the success, I am blessed. I'd also like to thank my wife and my family for allowing me to do this, even though she wants me to give it up. I just can't. Congratulations to the other award winners. Most of all, congratulations to the class of 2021. What a year it's been. You've made it. Go Cats.
One final time, ladies and gentlemen, please honor and welcome our this year's award winners. Noticed all of our award winners had their text probably like 12. Mine's at 18, so I can read it without my readers on. So just to let you know that. Before I hand it off to Ms. Rustan, I got a couple things I want to share with you. First of all, class of 2021, as you know, this year's been something else. To say it kindly, we've learned a lot this year. We've learned to be patient. We've learned to be persistent. We've learned to be thoughtful. We've learned to be caring, understanding, compassionate, and above all, loving. The most often word you've probably heard me say this year, it's been crazy. Followed closely by the word fluid. I want to leave you with 5 things. And I say these every year, and I sincerely mean them. Dream. Never stop dreaming of what you can be. Don't let others tell you you can't do it. In fact, erase the word can't from your vocabulary. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. Make the most out of each one of them. Take the time to think, to smile, and to cry. Don't sweat it. Seniors, before you have unlimited opportunities, whether it's the world of work, the military, or college or university. Face reality head on, and you'll be better because of it. Talent is a gift. Character is a choice. Someone has bestowed on you a variety of talents that you make what you want. Wasting these opportunities is one of the biggest mistakes we can do in our lives. Squandering potential is regrettable, but squandering character is disastrous. We choose who we are and how we want to treat people. We are not born with character. Use your ability and make others feel the way you want to feel. And never be reckless with the heart of someone you care about. And finally, tell them you love them. Your family, your parents, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, and your friends. They're the reason you've made it this far. Make sure that you take the time to thank them for all they've done for you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Elaine Rustan. I am one of the teacher sponsors for this year's senior class. I am pleased to participate in the ceremony today on behalf of our school counselor, Kim Mulder, who is unable to attend today. At this time, I would like to recognize and honor the students of the class of 2021 who have excelled academically. The first group we will honor are the Gold Cord recipients. Will these 8 individuals please stand and move to the stage? As these individuals are coming forward, I would invite you to take a look at the insert in your program. There you will see the students in this graduating class who have received various academic, FFA, FCCLA, fine arts, and athletic scholarships and awards. Many of the scholarships and awards that are listed here were awarded last week, Friday night, at our Senior Honors Awards Night. And now the Gold Cord Award. The Gold Cord is a most prestigious award. To become a Gold Cord recipient, students must establish an academic standard of excellence by graduating in the top 10% of their class. This year we have a unique situation, graduating 8 seniors with a cumulative grade point average of 4.0, and all ranked number 1 in this class. Therefore, all 8 of these 4.0 seniors will be awarded a Gold Cord. As I read these students' names, Mr. Disco will give them their Gold Cord. The Gold Cord Award recipients are Haley Knobloch, Corey Knobloch, Kennedy Kramer, Caitlin Lappa, Avery Lenz, Tanner Severson. Elena Whalen. The second group of individuals I would like to recognize are those seniors who are members of the National Honor Society. These individuals have not only maintained high academic achievements, but have also demonstrated the highest standards in character, leadership, and service to others. As I read their names, I would ask that their parents stand to be recognized with them and stay standing. Please hold your applause until the last student is recognized. This year's senior NHS members are Grace Bowder, Alyssa Berenscott, Kara Blumgren, Julia Bergman, Gabriel Carolyn, Sadie Fike, Shauna Gerber, Grant Hubendorn, Ambria Knobloch, Isaac Knobloch, Talon Knobloch, Brenna Knobloch, Haley Knobloch, Corey Knobloch, Jackson Kramer, Kennedy Kramer, Kaylin Cruz, Caitlin Lapka, Avery Lenz, Jenna Luthold, Aaron Myberg, Isabel Metzger, Emma Meyer, Jed Meyer, Kirk Mosher, Sarah Perez, Tucker Poppins, Taylor Renchler, Tanner Severson, Chase Truby, Mitchell Timmerman, Zachary Van Beek, Raylan Vandekamp, Kate Warner, and Elena Whalen. Thank you to each of these members for their contribution to our National Honor Society. Please give them a round of applause.
It is a privilege to present to one senior the Iowa State Bar Association Citizenship Award. This award is presented annually to a senior in every high school in the state of Iowa. The recipient is to have exemplified a patriotic spirit with strong religious and moral convictions, living and professing the qualities of honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and citizenship. The honoree is selected by the Westline High School faculty and is considered the highest honor given to a member of this class. This year's recipient of the Iowa Bar Association Citizenship Award is Elaine Whalen. Elaine, would you please come forward? graduate speakers please come up on the stage? Graduate speakers please come up on the stage. It's the customary at Westline High School to invite the top graduates of the class to speak at graduation with 8 seniors at their perfect 4.0. I think we're in for a real treat. Now, I did tell them we still need to limit it to 15 minutes, so not all 8 are going to speak for 10. Speakers for this year's graduation are 8 senior students who have been very active in many school and community activities. As well as excelling in academics, all 8 of our speakers have maintained a perfect 4.0 GPA. Graduating at the top of their class, and all were inducted into the National Honor Society. Caitlin Lapka is the daughter of Christopher and Mindy Lapka. Caitlin was involved in volleyball, basketball, track, student council, was a member of the play stage crew, and also the Wildcat Way. She also enjoyed being involved in the Impact Youth group in her church. Caitlin plans on attending Northwest Missouri State University to study human services in Spanish. Avery Lenz is daughter of Tony and Lisa Lenz. During high school, Avery participated in band, volleyball, basketball, track, and was part of the play stage crew, as well as the Wildcat Way. Her plans are to attend Augustana University, majoring in biology. Haley Knobloch is the daughter of Mitchell and Amy Knobloch. While a student at Westline, Haley was involved in track, volleyball, basketball, softball, fellowship for Christian athletes, and the Wildcat Way. Outside of school, Haley participated in the Seeds of Faith Youth Group and 4-H. Haley plans to attend the University of Sioux Falls and pursue a degree in nursing. Corey Knobloch is the son of Trent and Heather Knobloch. Corey has been involved in track, football, FFA, and Wildcat Way. He too participated in his church youth group and 4-H. In the fall, Corey will attend South Dakota State University to study ag science. Kennedy Kramer is the daughter of Chris and Tracy Kramer. Kennedy also was a very active student at Westline, participating in volleyball, basketball, softball, track, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Outside of school, Kennedy participated in the St. Mary's Youth Group. Kennedy also plans to attend Northwestern College for nursing and continue her track career with the Raiders. Taylor Winchler. Taylor is the daughter of Tom and Janelle Winchler. Taylor was a 4-sport athlete all 4 years of high school, participating in volleyball, basketball, track, and softball. She also was a band and the Wildcat Way. This fall, she will be taking classes at Northwestern College, studying biology, and will be playing softball for the Raiders. Tanner Severson, son of Alan and Jana Severson. Tanner also was a 4-sport athlete, participating in football, wrestling, track, and baseball. Tanner was also involved in the Wildcat Way. He's planning to work for his dad's business when he graduates in extreme fire protection. Elena Whalen, daughter of Tammy Kramer and Patrick Whalen. Elena has participated in volleyball, basketball, golf, and the spring play. She also was in the student council, serving as student body president this year. Outside of school, she has been very active in the Lutheran Youth Organization. Her plans after graduation are to attend the University of South Dakota, majoring in secondary English education. Please welcome our speakers to the podium.
Well guys, here we are, 13 years together from hands behind your back and walk under the lights to step out of the way, seniority. But out of all of our memories in between these stages of life, we've compiled the ones that make you laugh, cry, maybe hide your face in embarrassment. With us though, we're a pretty tight-knit group. We tend to laugh with each other instead of at each other. So we hope that you can enjoy yourself during this speech, but also try to take something from it. Now, sit back, relax, take notes, and just laugh. This moment in our lives will be something that we will remember forever. But without further ado, Here are the 13 lessons we've come up with for the 13 years of schooling we've had together.
Lesson number 1, grammar and spelling are important. Being a class with a high average GPA and high standardized test scores, one would think that this first lesson is something that wouldn't have been a challenge for us. As we figured out this year, that is quite wrong. We first realized some of us struggled in the English department in 8th-hour strategic reading in English class when Kaylee Kroger stumbled upon a Google Slides presentation all about Gabe Carolyn that she made freshman year. Despite not laying eyes on the presentation for 3 years, Kaylee convinced Mrs. Kudum to let her give an impromptu presentation about Gabe to the class. Everything went downhill from there. Kaylee, Gabe, Mrs. Kudum, and the rest of the class quickly realized that almost every other word was misspelled, randomly capitalized, or didn't make much sense to begin with. The highlight of the presentation was one slide containing the sentence, "But if there was two, he had to share two would be these." Comma. It took the class a few minutes to decipher what was trying to be said. Another instance of spelling struggles also took place in Mrs. Kudum's room after she asked Jacob Van Veldhuizen to make a note for her on the whiteboard. Jacob quickly wrote the note and sat back down, but when the class looked at what he wrote, heads slightly tilted. Jacob had misspelled Wednesday pretty thoroughly. Mrs. Kudum called Jacob back up to fix his mistake, but he couldn't quite figure it out. Soon, Mitchell, Garrett, Jordan Benoit, and Eli had all wandered up to the board in an attempt to help. It took all 5 boys and the phonic Wednesday for the word to finally be spelled correctly.
Lesson number 2, lying and stealing is bad. As soon as we entered West Lyons Halls at the south side of the building, we began learning perhaps the simplest of our lessons, such as lying and stealing is bad. This didn't stick right away for everyone though. In first grade, Ellie Whalen and I decided the best way to spend our recess time would be to take Caitlin Lapka to the very top of the snow pile and explain to her that the top of this very dirty mound of frozen water was actually heaven. Another prime example from first grade was the time David Dominguez cut his shirt. He thought it would look cool. After his teacher confronted him about it, David, rather than facing the consequences, just blamed his cut shirt on Jose. In second grade, Haley and Kara ups the game by not only lying, but also throwing and stealing. They went into Mrs. Sterrett's room where they sneakily smuggled candy. Unfortunately, Miss Sterrett was smarter than us second graders and caught them. As a result of their stealing, they had to dump out their bags to prove they didn't steal more. You would have thought that after our elementary years, we finally would learn not to lie. Well, in high school, one particular student decided to act like he was a Detroit Lions fan at a pep rally. Our pep rally speaker then called down this Lions fan to the gym floor to stand in front of everyone. Go Lions, right at us.
Lesson number 3, sharing is caring. This lesson was taught way back in lower elementary when Dalton DeSmet and Jordan Vermeer sort of understood the concept. The 2 boys loved playing with Legos in kindergarten, and Brady Anderson would always want to join in on their fun. Remembering that sharing is caring, Dalton and Jordan allowed Brady to play with them and their Legos. However, Brady was never given a character with a head, because Dalton and Jordan wanted to be able to switch out the heads on their own characters to give them multiple personalities.
Lesson number 4, dental care is important. Unfortunately, our class learned this the hard way. Wyatt hit Emma in the face with a hockey stick, Zach collided with the gym floor, and Eli pushed Avery into a pole in 3rd grade. All resulted in a chipped tooth. Not to mention, Avery went to the dentist for that same chipped tooth this year, and her dentist was in fact Eli's mom.
Lesson number 5. Our class knew the significance of pets, especially teachers' pets. As a lot of people may know and agree, pets have an important place in a lot of people's hearts. Even if they aren't our own, many teachers raised pets when we were in their class. This all started with Mr. Bergman's class in 4th grade. There was a constant fight over who got to feed the bird and turtle. Somehow, John always got chosen because he was the favorite. Another instance when pets were an important thing in our lives was when Mrs. Stock found tadpoles to raise. Taylor had taken upon the responsibility of taking care of them. One day, Mrs. Stock added a heater to the tank, and when Taylor had come to class, she made all the heads turn, and she started to cry because she realized the tadpoles had accidentally been boiled.
Lesson number 6, teamwork makes the dream work. Most of you know that we had very successful sports seasons this year, especially in football and basketball. The football team worked hard to make it to a state quarterfinal game, beating ranked Boyden Hull, Rock Valley 28-0 along the way. The girls basketball team received runner-up in the 2A state championship. They also were first in the conference and had a record of 24-2. These accomplishments couldn't have been done without a tremendous amount of teamwork. Speaking of teamwork, Shauna, Kara, and Corinne sure used a lot of that on their elementary reading counts quizzes. Lesson number 7. Westline taught us timeliness. There is a well-known saying, to be early is to be on time is to be late is to be forgotten. In this case, Zach was forgotten when he missed the bus on his first day of school at Westline. This is a great lesson and reminder for all of us. It is better to be early than to be late for it.
Lesson number 8. It's important to disagree civilly. Talon Knobloch can tell you a lot about this. Just ask him about the time he moderated a mock 2016 Republican debate in the band practice room between Gabe Carolyn as Donald Trump, Jed Meyer as Ted Cruz, and Kirk Moser as Marco Rubio. Luckily, Talon was there to make sure everyone remained civil. The only part that didn't remain civil was when Taylor Winkler as Hillary Clinton walked in and started chirping up and got shot down by all 3 bullets.
Lesson number 9. Traditions are important. For those of you who don't know what the cheese touch is, if somebody has the cheese touch, they have to pass it on to someone else by touching them so they don't have it anymore, which can be difficult as the main rule of the game comes no one to go near the person. Cheese touch was a prominent game in our elementary years, and it's something we remember fondly. Here's another example of an important tradition. Back in elementary, someone took a piece of food every day and made everyone at the lunch table take a bite out of it. That lunch table would do this every day at lunch. This lunch table called this ritual traditions. These traditions that our grade had won't be forgotten. We are able to look back on these memories and reconnect with each other. Memories like these will last a lifetime, and that is why traditions are important.
Lesson number 10. Sometimes a little mischief adds fun to life. Just as the dozens of seniors who remember after the fateful Door Agriculture Day, throwing potatoes out the bus window. We may have got a few kids sent to the office, but it was a memorable moment for everyone, especially for Emma, who remembers being interrogated by Mrs. Rancher when she said, "And where's your potato?" Even though Eli was actually the one to steal a potato and fling it out the window. Between events like this, Chase getting a detention for yelling "moo" in a silent classroom, or throwing grapes across the lunchroom, these moments of mischief may not exactly be productive, but they are definitely memorable.
Lesson number 11. You have to chase what you want until you get it. This is shown and proved by all the impressive number of seniors who qualified for all-state speech or honor choir, and also the 22 band seniors who have helped build and lead the band to success over the years. We also had some seniors chase what they wanted romantically, like Ellie tackling Eli at recess and kissing him in elementary, or Corey giving me a ring, in which he found on the playground to try and get me to fall in love with him in first grade. Good try, Corey.
Well, it almost worked, but lesson number 12. It's important to leave things better than when you found them. Some seniors, however, should have learned that one probably a little bit sooner. Like Tucker started the chemistry room on fire, which forced Mrs. Halverson to reach through the flame and shut it off and save the class. Shout out to her, otherwise some of us might not need her. Another example is when Mason, Isaac, and Grant learned that Mrs. Coombs' chair can't hold 3 full-grown men. Needless to say, that chair didn't last long after that day. Then there's the time Caitlin and Corinne broke a picture frame at state track, or the time Trevor flipped over the table instead of going. But for most of the senior class, I think we can all say we left West Line Community School better than we found it so many years ago.
And finally, lesson number 13. For the 13 years we've been classmates, you still matter after you're gone. We all have left our mark on this school, whether that has been good or bad. But moments like the time Amanda threw deodorant on the ceiling in the junior high locker room will always stick out. Did you get my pun there? Oh, and it's still there, by the way, the deodorant. Or most recently, when I totally did not ask Mr. Peterson if I could throw a permanent marker at the wall just to see what would happen. And it totally did not explode all over the wall and floor. So that will be staying for a while as well. Sorry, Mr. Peterson. But let's not forget the time that Raylan and Dalton laid on the ground on top of each other, pretending to be dead for almost the entire play practice, so the rest of the cast members could figure out the scene. Legend says that they are still laying there today. I don't think I see them in the crowd anywhere. Anyways, my point is that we all have our moments in high school, whether we choose to remember them or not. Someone did, and our actions could have changed their lives for the better. Even though we are leaving this place that we pretty much called home for 13 years, we still left a mark here and on the people who have been on the journey with us. We still matter to the school, staff, and classmates that shaped us into the people we are today.
Year after year, lessons were learned and memories were made in these halls of West Lyon. I believe the most important lesson we learned was to always be grateful and don't take anything for granted. Unfortunately, we had to learn this the hard way. But after we were able to meet again in these halls this past fall, we came together as a class and had the best year possible with the circumstances given. We are beyond blessed to have the senior year we did. As we go our separate ways, our memories that we made will never fade. We will reminisce on these memories and these days that are the best of our lives.
A special thank you to all the teachers, coaches, directors, parents, custodians, lunch ladies, and so many other people who have helped us to grow into the young adults that we are today. To my fellow classmates, it has been a pleasure learning, growing up with each and every one of you. I know that you all have some exciting plans for your future, and as we leave this rural community for a bright future, I ask that you all remember your years in West Lyons halls, and to take the lessons that we have learned with us as we move on. We might be apart, but I hope you always know that we will be with each other wherever we go.
Thank you. That's not easy to do, and they did an amazing job. You deserve to involve 4.0 students. I'm going to go off script a little bit, and I appreciate your indulgence. This is a rather unique year for West Lyon in many ways, not least of which is that we are, at the end of this year, going to have the loss of 151 years of teaching experience. For our teachers are moving on to different chapters in their life. And we have the sad passing of Mrs. Lombard, a beloved junior high special ed teacher. Combined, these 5 teachers have 151 years of experience at West Lyon, which no doubt has had a tremendous impact on this community. I look here in the audience, and I'm certain that many of you have had at least one of these teachers as an educator, and probably has had a very profound impact on you as a person. I'd like to ask you to please indulge me, and if you have had one of our 5 teachers that are leaving, Mr. McCollum, Mrs. Stein, Mrs. Rosenbaum, Mr. Lawton, or Mrs. Lombard as a teacher, would you please stand at this time? I know some of those teachers that are here right now, if you would like to give them a round of applause. Before I formally introduce this graduating class, I'd like to share with you a bit of information concerning future plans of this class. Of the 65 graduates in the class of 2021, 33 will be going on to a four-year college, 14 are going to community college or tech school, 14 are going directly into the world of work, and 3 are undecided. One of our graduates has decided to serve our country and is committed to the National Guard. I'd like to ask Amanda Wilson to please stand at this time and be recognized for her planned service to protect our country. Mr. Troy Bowder, Mr. Justin Metzger, Mr. Kramer, would you please come forward to hand out our school diplomas. As these gentlemen take their place, I would like to ask the audience to please hold your applause until all graduates have received their diploma. I also would ask the audience to respect the dignity of this ceremony and refrain from making unnecessary noises as the graduates' names are called. The first four graduates, please stand and come up to the stage. This is the moment of all the ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, these students have met the high school graduation requirements set forth by the state of Iowa and the West Line School Board. Their dedication and hard work should be recognized with the receipt of a high school diploma. Brady John Anderson. Grace Lynn Bowder. Jonathan Andrew B. Alyssa Reese Bernscott. Wyatt H. Bernscott. Sarah Michelle Lundgren. Julia Elizabeth Bergman. Gabriel Patrick Carroll. Keegan Maria Creighton. Dalton John DeSmith. Katie Dominguez. Juan Daniel Dominguez. First one, we sit down, and then she'll please come forward. Audience, you're doing very well. Thank you. Dalton Eugene Faber. Sarah Nadine Davis. Sadie Ray Fife. Tunis Jaden Floyd V. Shauna Marie Gerber. Matt Aaron Hess. Grant Lucas Hogenborn. Riley John Hogenborn. Caleb Joshua Immiger. Garrett Lee Clarence. And Brea Joy Nabla. Isaac Jerry Nabla. seats. Next row, please come forward. Corinne May Knobloch. Talon John Knobloch. Brenna Grace Knobloch. Haley May Knobloch. Corey J. Knobloch. Isaac Nicholas Cook. Jackson Randall Kramer. Kennedy Lynn Kramer. Kaylee May Kroger. Kaylin Ann Cruz. Mason Thomas Langenhorst. Caitlin J. Latka. You can take your seats. Next row, please come forward. Avery Marie Lenz. Jenna Lee Boothole. Deshaun J. Lindsay. Syra Lynn Magnuson. Aaron Edward Myberg. Isabel Deanne Metzger. Couple leadership there. Emma May Meyer. Jed Charles Meyer. Elijah Ward Mosier. Kurt Franklin Mosier. Sarah Grace Perez. Tucker Allen Hopkins. You can take your seats. Next row, please come forward. Taylor Marie Rentschler. Jose Richards. Noah Benjamin Reichenberger. Caleb Jonathan Santos. Tanner Joseph Severson. Chase Arthur Terwee. Mitchell Douglas Timmerman. Zachary David Van Dee. You may take your seats. Next row, come forward. Jacob Jeffrey Vandelheim. Jordan Michael Van Wyne. Trevor Daniel Van Wyne. Raylyn Grace Danikin. Jordan J. Vermeer. Kay Lawrence Warren. Elena Marie Whalen. Amanda May Wilchin. Congratulations, class of 2021. Before we close for this evening, I'd like to inform you that the graduates will exit immediately out to our football stadium for our cap toss. The audience is welcome to be a part of that, take pictures, stand on the east side bleachers, and it will be a nice photo opportunity for our graduates to have a cap toss. Graduates, please stand. Junior escorts, please come forward. The graduating class would like to thank their parents. This day would not have been possible without your love, support, and encouragement. Please give your parents a round of applause. Graduates, congratulations. The world awaits you.